Good evening, everybody. Well, the Mets live to fight another day. It wasn't. Honestly, this was one of those games that you knew. It's like the Mets can't score enough runs. The way it was going, and the way Los Angeles, is capable of getting right back in it with so many lethal hitters like Otani, Betts, Freeman, Hernandez, all those guys, Muncy, Smith. Kiki Hernandez seems to be a different player in the playoffs. So, yeah, Tommy Edman. There's no easy outs in the Los Angeles Dodgers lineup. There really are no easy outs. But the Mets finally. You know what's funny? The way this series is going, I'm like, even when Pete Alonso hit the 3-run home run, I'm like, I was happy about it, but I'm like, it's just first inning. I'm like, there's so much left to be played, and I wait until like the lead gets padded before I start feeling a little bit more, a little bit more comfortable. So I did not want to see the Mets season end, on our home field. I'm very happy that at the very least we're extending this thing. We can enjoy it for now. We're extending the series at least another game. Sean Manaea is going to the mound on Sunday against the bullpen game for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Work to our advantage in game two. We'll see. I mean, for the Mets to win on Sunday, they've got to jump out early on the bullpen. They really can't mess around. You got it. If the Mets are going to win and force us to a do or die game seven, they got to score early. We'll see. There's been the way this series has gone. It's been blowout wins in favor of either the Dodgers or the Mets the whole time. The Dodgers blew us out in game one. We blew them. Well, it was 4 runs. I wouldn't call it a blowout, but it was still relatively comfortable win game two. They blow us out game three. They blow us out game four. And we just couldn't get the big hit. They did. We kept walking batters, and it was do or die tonight. And with their backs against the wall, and then boom, we go ahead and we end up prevailing to survive, and we got a barrage. Alvarez had a few hits. Lindor had a couple of hits. Ironically, everybody would join the party but Vientos, and I think McNeil didn't really do much tonight either. But everybody else contributed. But you can't kill Vientos. He's been the most consistent hitter in the postseason. So it's we're back to LA, and I know I made the videos. When you're a Met fan or a sports fan in general, and you live for you live with the emotions, and if you don't like what you see, you're like, oh, it doesn't look good. It's probably over. They look overmatched, and when it's going good, I've always been a type of person. Yeah, I admit I tend to be. I tend to be doom and gloom, just based on the history of the teams I root for. I mean, come on, it doesn't end well for the Mets. It doesn't end well for the Jets, and the Knicks really. I mean, and even the Rangers. The one team I root for that's been consistently good have been the Rangers. They've been the 5 conference finals in the last 12 years. How many have they gotten by? Just one. You know, so I mean, it's not easy being a Met, Jet, Nick, and Ranger fan. It's not. And the history of these teams suggests that it's more heartbreak and more disappointment. But when they win, because when they lose, that's what you expect. When they win, it's like, oh, we live to fight another day. And we want to keep the good times rolling. So, listen. I'm so glad that Carlos Mendoza woke up and decided to put Jesse Winker as our DH and said adios to JD Martinez, because JD Martinez is old. He's just washed up. He doesn't have much left. Jesse Winker definitely brings more offense at this point. So you got to roll with him on Sunday for DH. I would roll out with the same lineup. I would keep McNeil. I don't know if I'd go McNeil or Iglesias for second base. Maybe Iglesias since we're on the road. I don't know. But the big move that they had to make was putting Winker at DH over JD, and obviously that's going to be the case because both games that the Mets won, Jesse Winker was a DH. The 3 games we lost, JD Martinez was the DH. Pretty easy, logical choice. You go with Jesse Winker. He's got to be the DH at this point. He provides much more offense for us. So got to get we got a shot. LA still got the upper hand. LA still going to be the favorites here, but we just got to find a way to pounce on them early on Sunday to put pressure on them. We'll see. Like I said, the Dodgers are still the favorites. The Dodgers are still the better team. Are the Dodgers going to win the series still? Probably. But, Game 6, if the narrative, if we jump out early, we put pressure on them, all of a sudden, things go, things can go quickly turn. So we'll see what happens, but at least we get to enjoy this for tonight. And for one night, the Mets do stave off elimination. So LFGM for one more day. At least they won a couple games in this series, and they didn't let the Dodgers clinch a trip to the World Series on their home field. See what happens Sunday.